all the way. Try to take anything, like photos, iPhone, video. You can't capture it. It's just so big. It's unbelievable. Such a beautiful place. You have a full crater all the way around, and you have a little tiny gap that the wind can funnel into this lake. So, I mean, already I'm looking at like, wow, we're going to try to kite this, and all of a sudden it got really quiet when the chopper left, and I'm looking at Anna, and I'm looking around these giant walls, and it kind of struck both of us at the same time that all of a sudden we are the only people for miles up on this insane mountain. Anna was like, this has been her full-on dream. This has been her mission. She wants to do this. She's in her wetsuit, ready to go. And I'm like, have the kite in the air, like ready to go. I'm like ready to launch. She's like, okay, stand there. I'm holding it. It's like there's no wind. And we kind of just, we kept at it. I mean, we had walked our butts off. We had carried all this gear, the heli, I mean, everything. We had so much planned. We had so much desire to do this and to actually be able to kite. Even just for 5 seconds, to be able to get up and go. Anna, before she knew it, had a kite up in the air. She got, grabbed the board, and everything kind of clicked, and she got on the water, and she kind of took off. And I think it both kind of took us a second to realize what was going on. And she started riding, and before we knew it, she was off in the middle of this lake, up this mountain, way up this mountain, in this crater where the wind can only come in through this little tiny gap. And yeah, she was kiting, and she started screaming and yelling, and I was screaming and yelling. I'm trying to film, I'm trying to hold the camera right, and yeah, it was amazing. Really unbelievable. So yeah, Anna was just ecstatic, and threw the bar in my hand. We still had some wind for a little bit. You spin your head all the way around, and all you see is this massive crater wall. It was beautiful. It was the most beautiful place I've ever kited, and I was so happy just to be kiting up there, just to have flying a kite, just to be in the water, which is freezing. It was just an amazing experience. And this full cloud comes through and shuts off the sun from us, and the temperature must have dropped 10 degrees right there. You're just like, oh, okay. We had our window. Let's call it. We gotta get warm because it's getting cold quick. Next morning, once again, it was an early morning. We had a lot to do that day. We had to descend a long way. We packed everything up. We had a little stand-up paddle on the lake, which was kind of surreal. It was just quiet. You're on this lake all alone. Yeah, all of a sudden I realized that the way out of this crater was up the wall. And I'm looking at this almost vertical 1,000-foot cliff wall. And it took us an hour of just vertical climbing. We're way up high. The air is thin. You're like working yourself so hard in the most beautiful place in the world.
You know, I kind of found myself almost thanking Michelson for making the impossible possible. And really, all we could do now is just hope. We just hope that this story will reach someone somewhere and stop them from buying ivory.
I was completely exhausted, but I was so happy from what I had just done. And in a couple days, on a mountain I had never been, I had kited all 3 major lakes, higher than I've ever been in my life. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better trip.